United 3, Norwich 2. I mean, what do I say after that? Great we won. I said to Marcel on the way up, draw. It was very nearly a draw. We're still relying on Ronaldo at 37 years of age to dig us out of a hole against bottom of the league. Lucky, very, very, very lucky today. I'll start with the positives. Obviously, the first one is that we won. The second one is obviously following the results that Spurs had and Arsenal had against Southampton. Obviously, yeah, it's good that we've won. But unfortunately, in true Manchester United fashion, I don't know how you guys feel, but the type of performance doesn't fill you with anything positive. It doesn't. It papers over the cracks. Ronaldo, the GOAT, does what he does. He's single-handedly saving our ass. That's why I've always tried to defend Ronaldo where I can. I know there was a part of the season where he wasn't playing well and stuff like that. But without him, there's nothing there at the moment. Alanga did well. I thought he put in a good shift in that. But other than that, there wasn't anything in there to shout about. I'll have to say Ralph got it wrong. But actually, it's indicative of how bad the team is, because basically what he said was, I'm going to go with 1-6 at home and 2-8. How many times do we say that? Playing against teams lower in the league, teams, especially at Old Trafford, we should be able to play 2 attacking midfielders and 1 defensive midfielder. The problem was, it was the wrong defensive midfielder. Paul Pogba got absolutely exposed in that game. He was getting passed through structurally. You know, we were giving up so many dangerous moments in the game, transitional situations where there was 4-on-4, 3-on-3, waiting for last-ditch interceptions and tackles and blocks. Before we went 1-0 up, Pukki's clean through, tries to dink De Gea. He makes a good save. So there was no control over the whole game, considering we were 2-0 up. Credit to Alanga. He wins the ball off the centre-back and forces the mistake and gives Ronaldo a tap-in. Credit to Ronaldo again, who leaps like a salmon. Not even really like a salmon, just open header, does and scores a good goal. And we're 2-0 up. Then you're thinking, right, do you know what? The sun is shining. Maybe this team is going to actually give me something that I haven't seen in a while. And that's a routine win. And even then, we couldn't do it. I look at the goal that we conceded. Don't think Anthony Elanga did enough in terms of letting Pukki run off him. Dalot didn't not do enough in terms of the player on the ball. Then Maguire gets attracted to the ball. Then Tellez gets attracted to the ball. Calamitous. And that's just before half-time. But then you're thinking, do you know what? It's at half-time. Get into the players, Ralph. Can you go up a gear? And the answer was no. Worse. Such a soft goal to concede in the second goal as well. Player clean through. Pukki just peels off. Everyone gets attracted to the ball. He's free at the near post. Then it could have been 3-2 and De Gea makes a great save. So at the end of the day, we were shocking today. And you know what? The tide was turning. At 2-2, it got quite toxic in there. The fans were singing, "You're not fit to wear the shirt." And let's have it right. Let's have it right. That goal came from a Ronaldo free kick, bit of brilliance, which Tim Krul actually got a hand to, which on another day probably doesn't even go in, you know? So we were lucky today. And that's why I can't feel optimistic. Yeah, we capitalise on Spurs losing and Arsenal losing, but we've got Liverpool. We've got Liverpool on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. I don't even know what the final score was against City, but I know they won. They're going to be full of confidence, fighting for the title. We'll get our asses handed to them if we play like that. Absolute annihilation. And you can make fun of Arsenal, probably much just that game probably be a draw, 2 poor sides. But there's nothing to write home about. On the Ronaldo front, look, it just shows in it what the guy's got at the end of the day. Question him at your will, you know. And this is why people want to say he's the problem and he's this and that. Without Ronaldo, we don't even beat Norwich at home. Without Ronaldo, we don't even beat Norwich away. He scored the penalty 1-0. Well, we struggled in that game. And we struggled here today from 2-0. Norwich are pretty much almost dead and buried. And they come to Old Trafford and got themselves in the position to nearly win the game. And that's where we're at right now. So I think that is typical of where we are. Actually, what we saw is that, you know, Paul Pogba can't play as a lone midfielder. Whether you want to say that's bad in Pogba's game, he can't even control the midfield against Norwich, you can say that. But also, it's indicative of the team. Fullbacks, not good enough. Both Dalot and Tellez letting people get in and behind him. Dalot had a big block in the second half, I'll give him that. But just not good enough. Bruno, stinker, poor. Since he signed the contract, he ain't put in a good performance since, and that's 3 games now. He's been really, really poor. He was poor at home against Leicester. He was poor away at... he should have scored against Leicester. He was 1-1 with Kasper Schmeichel. Remember, we clean through, missed. Poor against Everton, and poor here today. Terrible. Sancho. really want Jaden to keep kicking on. It's almost like since the international break, he's kind of stopped doing the things that he was doing, where he was going through that little purple patch where he was playing well. I think the biggest thing that's going wrong with Jaden at the moment is that his reluctance to take players on. He doesn't have that surge of pace, you know, the going from 0 to like when you get a car and you say, how quick does it go to 0 to 60? That happens with footballers. How quickly can they go from static to moving? How quickly can they go from still to full pace? And Sancho doesn't really have that. He wants the ball at feet a lot. He wants to come inside. He wants to cut back onto his right foot and make clever little passes and intricate little passes. And sometimes you just need to go at the man. Sometimes just go at the man. So it wasn't good from him today. Jesse Lingard did okay. He was probably unfortunate to come off, but the reason why the change had to be made, he wasn't going to take Bruno off, and at that time he wasn't going to take Pogba off, but the reason why the change had to be made was because we needed the balance in there. If we were going to play one lone six, it had to be Nemanja Matic today, and I don't know why it wasn't. You know, you could say it's a shambles, the fact that Manchester United can't play Paul Pogba there as a lone midfielder with Lingard and Bruno ahead of him and dictate the game against Norwich. That's what should happen in any realm of football. But this is this Manchester United squad, and we know they're not good enough. And we conceded so many dangerous opportunities and transitional moments against them today. And that's even when winning the game, the warning signs were there. Even at 2-0, I still felt, oh, we're winning 2-0, but, you know, this is a really poor Norwich side, but they've still looked dangerous. I'm not really comfortable here. And then they score right before half-time, and it just epitomised us, really. So some people have said today, like, it's a bit of an embarrassing win, or I don't really know how to feel about it. Oh, we're going to get battered on Tuesday night against Liverpool. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. And we know better. We know better than to say, top 4 race back on. Because we know the minerals that this team is made of, which is not a lot. So you don't really want to be negative after winning. You want to praise Ronaldo on a personal. You know, you want to praise him because he's given the team 3 points today. He's dug us out of a hole. That free kick was well struck. I want to big up Anthony Elanga because he gets the first goal for us by being on it, by pressing from the front, by being proactive, doing some of the things that Ralph would want to see. He wins the free kick by being proactive. That led to the goal, the winning goal. And then he was asked to play right back. And then he's winning tackles. He's still putting it in. You know, so he wasn't perfect today, but he done the basics right. He done the basics right. And not many players could walk off that pitch today and say that they did. You know, defensively was still really poor. Conceding 2 at home to Norwich, I need to say no more. So we go on Tuesday, mate. Honestly, I can't see anything other than a very comfortable Liverpool win. You call me pessimistic already, but I don't even think we score against them. I really don't. I'm dreading that. And then on to Arsenal. The only good thing is that Arsenal play Chelsea the day after. I don't fancy them to beat them at the Bridge either. So it might be as you were. And I don't know who Tottenham got. But even then, the top 4, I told you, I've checked out. So there you go. My man in the match definitely has to be Ronaldo. Without him, we don't win the game. 10 out of 10 from him today. Elanga was good today as well. I thought he done his thing. But there you go. That is Manchester United making hard work of it. But 3 points is 3 points. If you haven't subscribed already, by the time you're watching, it could be 100k, I don't know. But if we're just short, make sure you guys subscribe as well and smash a like on the video as well and drop your comments in the boxes below. Peace.